Prosecutors in Sarpy County say they are still investigating the death of an inmate in the county jail. Hao Pham was found dead in the facility 1 week ago.
John Chapman was in the courtroom this morning when the 3 other inmates accused in the killing of Pham made their initial court appearance.
21-year-old Diego Vasquez Jr. at the time of the incident was being held in the Sarpy County Jail, charged with robbery and use of a weapon to commit a felony. Derek Kern has a long criminal history, including convictions on assault and domestic assault on a pregnant victim. Kern was being held at the Sarpy County Jail for assault by strangulation and intentional child abuse. He was set to be sentenced on those charges prior to the current incident. Both men are now charged with being an accessory to second-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence in the death of 43-year-old Han Pham. Prosecutors say they covered things up and misdirected people. 21-year-old Drayshawn Stewart has a felony conviction out of the state of Iowa for burglary and theft. He was being held in Sarpy County, charged with assault by strangulation and intentional child abuse and obstruction. Now Stewart is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Han Pham.
Dealing with as much information as we have at the time of making the charging decision. At this point, it wasn't believed that there was any premeditation. It was more of an assault that winded up resulting in the death. Obviously, intentional acts that caused the death. So,
prosecutors say all 3 of the accused with felony backgrounds were in the same common area and cell arrangement with the victim.
My understanding is that he was in on a misdemeanor warrant from another county, so I'm not sure how that affects where the jail would place him. But I know they do their best job when we have individuals that are booked in the jail to do their best at classifying them and placing them in the appropriate area.
The 3 suspects were split up. Vasquez and Kern were taken to Douglas County. Stewart is being held in Tecumseh. Prosecutors say it's standard procedure.
Even if it's a simple assault, they'll separate them, send them to other counties. That way, number one, it protects them from retaliation from anybody else that would be inside there, other inmates. It also protects the other inmates in there that may have seen something or heard something.
All 3 of the inmates will be back in this Sarpy County court.
Vasquez and Kern are being held on $1 million bond on their accessory and tampering with evidence charges. Both suspects have preliminary hearing dates on September 25th. Stewart's bond, meantime, is $2 million on the second-degree murder charge. His prelim is set for September 26th.